I'm here with John Croft. And John, thank you once again for being together. And I'd like to ask you, what's the importance of creating affection towards the Amazon to save it? What about this dream of saving the Amazon through affection and love?
I think it's very important, and I think it's doubly important for two reasons. First of all, we need to create a different relationship between humans and the natural world. The relationship we have at the moment is a relationship of separation. But the belief of separation is an illusion. We can prove that, take a breath of air, and 1/5 of the air we breathe in comes from the Amazon. And so we need to have a relationship with that, because if the Amazon were to disappear, it would be a catastrophe for the planet. And there's different ways of doing it. The conventional way of doing it is to try and organise activist campaigns where people stand in front of bulldozers and all of that. And that is important. That is important. In the work of deep ecology, which I'm very familiar with, they say that there's 3 different kinds of work we need to do. The first kind of work is like this. It's holding actions in defence of the earth. Mm-hmm. These are the people who, like you, stood in front. Yes. And this work is important, but it's not enough. Activist campaigns are a little bit like warfare. They say warfare is 90% boredom and 10% sheer terror. Mm-hmm. When you're acting in that sort of way, building an activist campaign, it's very much like that. And what happens very often is people get burnout because it's so exhausting. People who get burnout very often feel they're letting the cause down, and so they look for something else. The second kind of work is this. This is the conceptual work of building new structures. Building structures that don't exploit or destroy the Amazon. Political structures, social structures, economic structures, environmental structures that take away from the pressure. And the third work, to building organisations. The building of organisations can be co-opted. It can be co-opted by big corporations. If you look at what's happening worldwide at the moment, the big pharmaceutical companies are getting into alternative medicine because they know that there's a growth of a market there. Mm-hmm. Big supermarket chains are selling organic fruit and vegetables now. The fact that they fly these from Africa and call them organic, but people think they're getting organic fruit and vegetable instead of the sorts that you buy normally in supermarkets. So it's co-opted. So those first 2 kinds of work are necessary, but they're not sufficient. They're not enough. And the third kind of work is the work of the heart. It's shifting consciousness. And we need that third kind of work because that will enable us to hold true to our own values. And so what you're trying to do in the Amazon, I think, is very important. To get that change of heart with a critical mass of people that can be big enough to save the Amazon. Mm. There is a fourth kind of work. And the fourth kind of work is the work that I'm doing, which doesn't do those 3 necessarily. But what it does, it's like a project support project. It's a project that aims to support those other 3 in becoming more effective. That's the dragon dreaming work I did. And I've done in the Amazon.
How was for you to be doing, well, we would like to introduce a little bit of what is dragon dreaming for whom is watching us, and share a little bit about your experience in the forest. What did you feel when you were there?
2 things. First of all, the shortest explanation of dragon dreaming, there's intermediate ones and then very long ones. The shortest explanation is that dragon dreaming is unconditional love in action. Because it's that makes the difference. And that love has to come from the love of ourselves, but also love of the world, to integrate the 2. So that's the simplest one of dragon dreaming. A more complex one is dragon dreaming as a process with 4 steps. The dreaming of dragon dreaming dragon dreaming is a way of building a new culture. A new culture based on win, win, win. It has to be a win for us individually, it has to be a win for the community, and it has to be a win for the planet. So that's the first one. And the reason for doing that is to produce what we call the Great Turning. And the Great Turning is how do we shift away from an exploitative, expansionist, industrial growth society that has to keep growing into a culture that actually enables complex life on Earth to survive. And it's the biggest job we have at the moment. We've got to achieve it in the next 10 or 20 years. That's the first, that's the dream of dragon dreaming. The planning of dragon dreaming is a design philosophy for running successful projects and organisations. The doing of dragon dreaming is that dragon dreaming is a toolbox. It's a toolbox of techniques that can be applied in different circumstances to different kinds of projects. And then the celebration of dragon dreaming. Dragon dreaming is a community of practitioners who support each other in making their dreams come true. So that's dragon dreaming. In terms of the Amazon, when I went up the Amazon, to Amazonas, it was like, in Papua New Guinea they have an advertisement for people to come to Papua New Guinea. Mm-hmm. They say, come to Papua New Guinea, it's like everywhere you've never been. And it was a little bit like that with the Amazon. The sensation I had as we went up through the Igarape, and it was literally like going up into the alveoli of the lungs of the planet. Mm. It was just amazing. That place it has to be seen to be believed.
Yeah. It has a very, very powerful energy.
Totally.
I was open to listen to the voice of the Amazon. She will speak out loud.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is we need to start hearing, as Aboriginal people in Australia say, we need to start hearing the song of the earth. That we are blind and deaf. And yet, the traditional cultures that lived in the Amazon for at least 15,000 years, they could hear that song, they knew what it was about. And if we're going to save the Amazon, we need to hear it too. To hear that song of the earth.
This is my dream.
Yeah, there you are. Good, and we'll try and support it any way we can. That's why you need to come to the International Con Festival of Dragon Dreaming in Brazil.
You see? Come.
Good.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
And good luck with your campaign.
Yeah, thank you.
It is very important.
Thank you. Yeah, it has come through me. This is my feeling. It's not my project. I don't
this is the mistake people make.
Which one?
People think that dreaming is an individual, subjective process.
Exactly.
And it is not true.
Yeah.
Our dreams come through us. Dreaming is a collective, and it's a trans-person project. Mm. And that's why, one reason why it's called Dragon Dreaming, is our dreams take hold of us.
Yes.
It's not us having the dream.
Yeah, this is how I feel.
Yeah. And that's what everybody who's involved in your campaign will have to feel too.
Yeah.
So, good
luck. Thank you.
Thank you.